Thank you so much to everyone who watched the previous 2 entries in this list. I made it with 10 people in mind, but then someone...
No! God, please!
...entered the chat, and I had to include him. I will have all 3 spliced together for anyone who wants the complete list, but I have so much to say about the final 3 that I knew this would warrant a 3rd video. Here goes. There's a lot of media that features a very common theme of women and girls being humbled by traumatizing events or by way of hating-ass men. This also happened to Paige Michalchuk, who could have easily been viewed as the HBIC of Degrassi. So naturally, of course, a man has to come along and decimate her self-worth. Y'all know whenever Paige makes this face, she's sprung. So even though she did all that scheming and plotting to get Spinner away from Terry,
are you okay?
I told Terry not to drink so much. Did you save me that dance? Just the man I was looking for.
Hey, Paige.
Well, you better save a dance for me.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Hi, Spinner.
Hi.
what the hell kind of spell work did Paige do on Spinner to get him to drop Terry that quickly? If Paige had never interfered with Terry and Spinner, Terry would have never started dating Rick. But anyway, she ditched Spinner and went to a party Dean was attending, not realizing that this creepy dirtbag was about to change her life forever. Because again, every alpha bitch needs to be brought down a peg, Dean decides he's not only going to ruin her first sexual experience, but psychologically attempt to break her down. For whatever reason, he shows up to this Degrassi music competition, probably to scout another victim. Paige is a badass, and instead of cowering, she goes all Courtney Love on him and ends up flipping the script. He leaves once he knows the song, which is a certified bop, by the way, is about him.
Never believe the nightmares. You never know the pain you caused. The things you stole, everything alive.
Bye, pumpkin. This is legit one of the best moments of the show.
I'm not your partner. You touch my body. Torn in half. I'm not your partner.
He comes back yet again in a later season 2 episode, still trying his hardest to break Paige down.
Lighten up. We had fun.
You think what you did to me was fun?
This time, however, Paige decides she's going to press charges against him. He shows up yet again in season 4 because how convenient, he's attending the same college as Dylan, her brother, and Marco's emotionally abusive boyfriend. Still not done trying to humble this teenage girl, Dean unsuccessfully attempts to persuade her not to follow through with the court case.
So, court, huh? Why go through this? You could tell them you don't want to testify.
Because even though he's
Garbage!
he is correct about the legal system that would ultimately fail her and absolve him of his wrongdoing. Side note, I absolutely hate that Dean's lawyer was a woman. Obviously shaken up over not getting justice, Paige wanted some type of revenge.
Any of you here know what your buddy is? He is a liar! Okay, a liar and a rapist!
Then, to antagonize her, he admits to what he did and even taunts her by telling her to call him if she wants more.
You raped me!
Yeah. Can't blame me for wanting some more of this. Can't blame me for wanting some more of this. You want to have fun sometime? Call me. You were good.
Paige's pettiness is put to good use this time when she uses Spinner's little hoopty to damage Dean's car. But because Paige knows it's not fair for Spinner to take the fall for this, She goes to the police and fesses up, but not before, once again, owning Dean by dismissing him completely.
That frat didn't let me in because of you and what you said.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck!
Hey, I'm not finished.
I've got something to do. Something more important.
Y'all, Paige is such a queen. I guess college life didn't work out for him because Dean would later go on to join the army and ruin another teenage girl's life.
When I graduate, I'm not gonna keep hanging around my old high school like some kind of creepy loser who can't get an adult girlfriend.
Rick is an obvious choice for the top half of this list simply because of what he did to Terry in a fit of incel rage. While he didn't kill her, she was still injured enough to never return to Degrassi until Jimmy became famous. Deciding to return to Degrassi, I can't believe his mom and Mr. Radish allowed this. Rick set out to prove to everyone that he isn't a violent misogynist who beats up women when they make him feel insecure. But that didn't work because Emma and Paige started a campaign that made everyone aware of his ways. Everyone except Darcy, apparently.
Why does everyone around here hate him so much?
While Rick could sort of be considered a sympathetic victim because he's a teenager who responded to his constant bullying, the fact still stands that his returning to Degrassi was a deadly choice and, upon further marijuana-induced analysis, a total narc move. Rather than stay as far away from Degrassi as possible, he came back for self-serving reasons to prove that he wasn't a monster. It didn't work.
Have some fun! Let's go.
After he was tarred and feathered, Rick wanted deadly revenge but decided against it when Paige defended him, unknowingly saving her own life in the process. But then Rick overhears the conversation that would change Degrassi forever. He shoots Jimmy, angry at his incorrectly perceived betrayal. Sean has to be the one to stop him from inflicting more damage. Rick Murray almost killed 4 people, left an entire community in shambles, and caused immense trauma to those who were both directly and indirectly affected.
I'm crazy, Ash.
You're bipolar.
For those reasons alone, he ranks very high on the list of Degrassi's worst villains. But he isn't the worst.
Congratulations, you won. Congratulations, you won. Congratulations, you won.
You all knew it. Peter is one of the most vile characters to ever exist. He is a shining, gleaming example of white male privilege and has the world's most punchable face. You may wonder why Peter ranks higher than Rick, when Rick literally put a main character in a coma, turned another into a paraplegic, and indirectly caused another to contract an STD due to grief.
You gave me a social disease.
I will tell you why. Although Rick should have never set foot at Degrassi again, most of what happened to him that led up to the shooting was just that, stuff that happened to him. Rick was viciously bullied at the end of the day, and he snapped. But Peter, nothing happens to him. He's just evil. He lacks empathy, foresight, or a conscience, mostly because his parents are rich and have consistently bailed him out of everything he gets himself into.
My dad just pulled some strings with his buddy Chuck.
So you got off with nothing.
While Rick almost took lives due to his mental instability and bullying, Peter, who displayed no mental issues other than narcissistic psychopathy, tremendously affected the lives of 3 main characters. Peter exploited Manny, who was too drunk to realize she was making a mistake flashing him, distributed the evidence to everyone, and was not punished for it at all.
I cannot even look at you. I don't really think. How could you do something so heartless?
Show your agent. Maybe it'll help get you there.
You taped it? Ew. Cameras.
If that wasn't bad enough, he also attempted to extort Manny beforehand, and when that didn't work, she offered herself to him, although she initially rejected him.
I want to see you again. So when are we going out? When are we going out?
Peter, I am never going to go out with you.
And my price just went up. There's a new camera I want. Runs about $3,000. I'm so glad my dad got me this model. He's such a generous guy. Can you believe I can email it right from here?
How about the guy who bought his 16-year-old son a $60,000 car?
Think of it as payback for this sweet pad. Pick this up.
Look, I don't have the money, so I'll just go out with you, okay?
Now, what if he actually did decide to take her up on the offer but wanted XCS as the payoff? Manny would have essentially prostituted herself to Peter to keep it all a secret. And then he could have still decided to release the footage. It's just ick all around. And his mother should have had a lot more sympathy for Manny than this totally condescending look she gave her.
He does go for girls like that.
Since we know the internet is forever, what if the video resurfaced and it cost her acting roles? And then he's not even remorseful when it's brought up years later.
Remember that time that you emailed topless photos of Manny to everyone in the school?
I'm still a piece of garbage.
He ruined Darcy's life by pimping her out to an online stalker named, who cares, he's a creepy NPC. Darcy decides to cheat on Spinner by having Peter take sexy photos of her to send to what she thinks is another teenage boy. Peter admits she's actually been sending them to the World of Warcraft guy from South Park, who later shows up at the Edwards home.
It's me, Adam.
Go inside. Why? Why would you do something so horrible?
I didn't think it was so horrible.
Then, while Peter is trying to get in her pants again, he drives with Darcy while on a suspended license and gets caught, essentially stranding her.
Out of the car, please. Your friend Peter here has been driving with a suspended license.
You'll never change.
I'm still a piece of garbage.
Despite all of this,
Darcy, you want to ride home?
But I thought since the whole street racing thing, you can't.
No, I can drive.
Your friend Peter here has been driving with a suspended license.
What's this?
Bus pass. Once I walked all the way home, I kind of cooled down.
Oh, for you.
Aw, my favorite weed. Wait, this is your idea of a date?
Yeah, it's community service, but do you think you could get the Reverend to sign some forms for last weekend?
I'm your community service hookup?
I'm still a piece of garbage.
Here, the Reverend hopes to see you at the next soup kitchen.
I like you. I have fun with you.
You're under house arrest. Plus, I'm still grounded thanks to those web photos. I just don't see it working.
I don't care. I'll risk all the sugar in the world. My probation, my house arrest. I have an hour before I have to report to my probation officer.
It's a date.
What's this?
Directions to a convicted street racer's press conference after school.
Forget something?
Thought I'd find you here.
She don't love herself.
they end up dating. Can someone please explain to me what his appeal is? And the last life he ruined, Sean Cameron, suffering from a massive case of dick envy.
I go, Mr. Stud.
No!
What's up, dog?
God, please, no!
Peter realizes that his girlfriend still has feelings for her ex.
Child. Anyway, so
I just think maybe we should take a little hiatus. Nothing major.
$60,000 car.
So what does he do? Why, commit a crime, of course. Peter decides to break into Sean's locker and plant drugs.
That's not mine. I'm suspended indefinitely.
Where did he get all this weed from? Mr. O? JT's old drug dealer? Side note, so Miss H can let Spinner return to school when he was a part of the prank that caused Rick's death, Jimmy's paralysis, and traumatized a lot of students, but she instantly gets rid of Sean over weed. It's because Sean also makes horrible, rash decisions. He does the stupidest thing ever and lets messy queen Jay Hogarth coerce him into racing against this little turd who keeps getting Houdini out of every horrible thing he does. So it was only natural that after Sean accidentally hit a jogger, he took the most heat for it. Peter just got probation and had to say he was sorry.
I also need to say that I'm sorry for tarnishing DeGrassi's rep in our community.
You's a lying ass motherfucker. Two-faced ass son of a bitch.
Because Emma is annoying and only cares about things when they start to directly affect her, Manny has to be the one to make it obvious that Peter broke into Sean's locker because he broke into Emma's.
And just look at this gorgeous mask. Peter bought it for me. He left it in my locker. How'd he get in? You and me are done.
Then they break up. Emma's ready to plan a life with Sean, but since he has no education, the shop isn't doing well, and he needs the money, he decides to enlist.
Where is this wonderful, merry, magic mechanic land?
It's the armed services.
That's right, Peter is the reason why Sean joined the army and the reason why he and Emma eventually broke up.
When I get back.
Maybe we shouldn't make any plans right now.
I'm still a piece of garbage.
Luckily, UPN, the CW, hates Peter more than I do, so they snatched both of his girlfriends away from him.
I'm going to Kenya.
Like, Africa? What? When?
Tomorrow. I have to move to Paris.
Paris, France? When?
Saturday?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Leaving Peter so distraught that he became addicted to meth for one episode.
Okay, you're serious?
You get to decide what happens. You're so selfish, Ian. Oh, no, you.
Oh my God.
Hey! Share custody. 1, 2, 3, 4. We should go.
Fuck Peter, he's the worst person from Degrassi The Next Generation.
Shoot! Go on! Get!